What's up everybody, we're back again with another raid guide, and today we're taking a look at the Tarragrue on Mythic difficulty. Now I'll be going over most of the mechanics, how to deal with them, and our overall tactic for this fight. So what is new for the Anima Power boss on Mythic? Well, not a lot to be fair. Apart from everything being scaled up, the debuff you get from soaking a remnant, for example, now lasts until the boss is defeated. So even if you have everyone soaking, you'll sooner or later just have too many stacks and you'll die. But yeah, mechanically that's pretty much what's new on Mythic. But of course the boss also deals more damage, has more health, and everything is just, well, scaled up. So what you need to do is just counter this with Anima Power. Now there's a few mandatory Anima Powers that will make this fight significantly easier, and at least one that'll make it a lot harder. So for the mandatory one, there's Unstable Form, Ever Beating Heart, and Stankie Gaming on Twitch. Unstable Form at random intervals reduces damage taken by 99% for 3 seconds, and this also removes a stack of a random debuff. And Ever Beating Heart makes you immune to fear and stun. So at the very least you want 2 players with the Unstable Form and 1 to 2 players with the Ever Beating Heart power. But more of them really doesn't hurt. I think we had 4 or 5 Unstable Forms when we killed it. And we used primarily tanks and healers for these powers. Other than that, just avoid the Power Lumbering Form, as it's probably gonna cost some deaths. But apart from the Unstable Form and Ever Beating Heart, it doesn't matter too much to be fair, although I highly recommend that everyone has at least 1 defensive Anima Power, because it just makes it easier. A lot of guilds I've talked with went in with full DPS pad Anima and then swapped to more defensive ones, as it just made everything so much easier. Sure, maybe it's not as fun from a pad perspective, but if you're just out to get the boss down, grab 1 or 2 defensive powers. Now, for the fight itself, it doesn't differ that much from Heroic as far as execution goes. We put up 2 markers for chains and had our players with fear and stun immune stand in front of them, and the rest of the raid spread around the room to avoid spreading the fears. We had our tank and healers with Unstable Form soak all the remnants. Now make sure tanks doesn't soak the physical remnant debuff, as the boss smacks quite hard. Keep in mind it takes some time to lose a stack with Unstable Form, so avoid getting too high stacks of the debuffs if possible. Spread it out among every player with Unstable Form. And on top of this, you want to make sure you're very fast with soaking, especially the magic damage taken remnant, as you want to avoid having the boss empowered by it due to his dot, which deals a ton of damage, especially if it's increased by remnants. Other than that, make sure to pre-spread before fears, and always following an intermission. Chains goes to the world markers, soaker soaks the remnants. Make sure to hold DPS cooldowns a bit as you're closing in on the 10% mark, so you have them available as the boss transitions into the last burn phase. And in this burn phase, tanks just make sure to ping pong boss around, kite it. You can use things like bop to tank for a few secs. Paladins can bubble taunt, arms warriors can die by the sword, etc, etc. And well, that's pretty much it. The biggest part of this fight is really re-rolling Anima Powers before you pull to make sure you have the right ones. And it is very Anima Power oriented. The better the power, the easier it gets. That being said, you don't need to spend an hour re-rolling. You just want to have some with Unstable Form, some with Ever Beating Heart, then a mix of DPS and defensive powers, and you'll be golden. So if you find yourself wiping a lot or losing a lot of players during the fight, just play around a bit with the Anima Powers, swap around with some of the defensive ones, and sooner or later the boss is gonna die. Now if you have any questions at all about this encounter, hit me up in the comments or become a patron and get access to the Stankie Discord, where you can find raid weakauras, healing notes, and help with anything raiding related. Now don't forget the usual stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. I'm also streaming all of our progression on Twitch, so make sure to check that out. It's on Mondays and Tuesdays. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.